Creating a game dynamic. A great game dynamic is the secret behind every successful game and the reason why they're so much fun. Game dynamics that are well designed offer a wide range of diversity and a rich user experience. The trip engine game state corresponds with the current location in the real world, the inventory the player has with him, and a set of variables having certain values. The game state is modified by using actions. For example, you could assign a value of 1 to a variable called Talk to Priest by defining an action for it. On the other hand, you can create a game dynamic by using certain conditions. An example would be that within a dialogue, a specific answer is only displayed if the variable Talked to Priest has the value 1. You can use as many variables as you like during a game, but the size of the game state should remain as small as possible. Therefore, you should use temporary variables that you can remove from the game state by clearing them out frequently when they are no longer required. It's important to know how scenes are handled in the game state. While playing a game with a trip engine, scenes that the player plays are handled like a growing stack of books. At the beginning of a game, the scene marked as Start Scene is the first book of the stack. Each scene that follows makes the stack grow. When a player returns to a previous scene, the scene he has just played in gets removed from the stack and the stack shrinks. Now, let's see how all this is achieved when using the editor. Within the top toolbar, there is a button for global actions and conditions. If you have complex actions and conditions which you intend to use multiple times during your game, then global actions and conditions are good tools to have. You can create them once and then refer to them when necessary. The dialogue consists of two parts. On the left you can define actions, on the right conditions. To create a new action, press the Add button and the Common Actions dialog opens. Use New Action to create the first action and choose between the action types offered. Add Achievement to add an achievement to the user's achievement collection. Adjust Score to add to, subtract from, or to set points of a score. Clear temporary variables to delete all temporary variables from the game state. Composite to group multiple actions. Global Action Reference to reference a global defined action. HTML pop-up to open a pop-up window containing HTML code. Information overlay to open a simple dialogue for points of interest. Internal monologue to show a simple text overlay that may give a hint to the player. Inventory item to add or remove an inventory item. Play sound to play a random sound file. Return to previous scene to return to a previous scene within the scene stack. Set variable state to assign a value to a variable. Start scene to start a scene and put it on top of the scene stack. Game over to end the game. Script. When using JavaScript, script action allows you to do actions you are not able to do otherwise. There is a full API description of the trip engine, and finally, vibration to let the device vibrate. In our case, we want to start a new scene and choose one of the scenes that we created before. In order to create another action which will be executed after the existing one, you can automatically create a composite action by adding a new action. The Set Variable State action lets you choose one of the variables you've already used somewhere else, or you can just add a new variable by entering a new variable name. After saving the game model, the new variable name is available in the list of already used variables. Should an action only be executed under a certain condition, you can define this dependence using the Add New Condition button. The following condition types are available. Composite, a group of conditions of which all or at least one must be true. In range, which is the case when the player is in the geographic range of another item or a fixed position. Inventory, checks whether the player has a specific item. Scene, checks the current scene. Score, checks whether score is less than, equal to, or greater than a given value. Variable state, checks the value of a variable. Has achievement, checks if the player has gained a certain achievement yet or not. Script, when using JavaScript and the Engine API Global Conditions reference, conditions allow you to query anything you are not able to query otherwise. You've just created an expression that starts the scene dialog scene 1 and sets the variable scene started to 1, in our case meaning true, but only if scene started is not yet 1. After confirmation is received, the action is listed and you may provide an alias if you want to reference it within a script. A star icon shows that the game model was changed. You need to save the changes before closing the browser, otherwise they will be lost. Press the Save Game Model button on the editor's top toolbar to save the changes. You can define variables and use them throughout the whole game model. In order to find out where a variable is being used, press Manage Variables in the top toolbar of the editor. The dialog lists any variables in use and refers to their location.